Infirmary Media.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 87 of the Video Rangers podcast. I'm Mike Ranger. Before we get started, I'd like to talk about the Poop Culture podcast and some of the good things that they're doing over there. Most of you, I'm sure, probably listen to them already, and some of you actually are them. But they do a lot of interesting stuff over there, and one of the best things that I think they do is their whole Dueling Decades series, which is basically a game where the 80s battle the 90s in like a 5-round thing where you go through like news and TV and music and movies and just pop culture in general. It's just like a battle of 80s and 90s pop culture, and usually the 80s wins, but last month, the 90s pulled one out. And there's, the Poop Culture podcast is involved. There's usually like a rotating fourth person in there. I've been on a few episodes, and of course, the Honorable Judge John Cross from the After Movie Diner podcast is the house judge. And it's a whole lot of fun. And if you have a chance to listen to it, if you haven't already, you should really go check that out. They do it once a month. And go over to their Facebook page, the Dueling Decades Facebook page, and join that group. There's a lot of cool things going on that page. And last night they hosted their very first viewing party, and it was a whole lot of fucking fun. It was an hour of commercials, and of toy commercials specifically from the 80s and early 90s. And a few people stopped by. There was about maybe 20 of us watching it, 15, 20, and it was a lot of fun, and I hope they keep doing stuff like that. And you should definitely, that's something that you guys should definitely go over there and check out if you don't already. Hopefully there's really no limit to what they could, maybe it doesn't have to be commercials. Maybe it could be like a movie, and you can hear them commentate. And, I was there. It was a lot of fun. I'm definitely going to try to make the next one, and I think everybody else should too if they've got the time. So, good job to the Poop Culture podcast and their whole Dueling Decades series and everything good they're doing over there. You really, the Infirmary Media Group that the Video Rangers and a few other podcasts are a part of, Poop Culture, Be Kind to Rewind, Bocephus podcast, some of the promos we played last week from the Blumpkin podcast, and, Three Men in a Podcast, a few other guys over there that I can't think of right now because... hi, but definitely a network of solid guys, and I really we're happy to be a part of it. All right, so now that that's out of the way, let's get into the topic at hand, because we got some heavy stuff. We're gonna take a little trip back in time to last summer when we covered Meatballs Part 2, because we've got a good old-fashioned update here on the Video Rangers podcast. For those of you who listened to our episode covering Meatballs Part 2 or tuned in to the VHS Bandits podcast where I joined them for their episode covering Meatballs Part 2, you may remember me talking about some of the film's history and how some of its information had been removed from the IMDb page as well as the Wikipedia. And I have to admit, I was starting to doubt myself. I started to think maybe I've taken one too many bong hits. Maybe this is the Sinbad Genie movie all over again. But I know that I read it, and I know because I love Meatballs Part 2 for everything that it is. I love it for everything that it isn't, and everything that it absolutely could be. I do. I talk about this a lot. I talk about how Meatballs Part 2, that what's missing from it is the nudity, and how that really is what could have pushed it over the edge, because when you're watching a movie like that, anytime you're watching a sex comedy, if there's no fucking nudity, you'd have to have the most superb fucking jokes of all time to let that fucking fly. And I love Meatballs Part 2, but it could be so much better. I mean, you know, like people, like you look at Porky's and you think to yourself that the shower scene is like just gratuitous nudity, but really that's not what it is. That shower scene is setting up. That scene is setting up the tallywhacker joke, and which quite possibly is one of the funniest things of the movie. So I do think that Meatballs Part 2 would be better with fucking nudity, and I remember reading it and I reading about it on how there were all these deleted scenes, and for some reason one day I logged on, couldn't fucking find it anymore. You know, after a while I'm like, fuck man, maybe I just didn't fucking read that. Maybe it just didn't happen. Well, my dear friends, the Ark has been found, and we've gotten it before it fell into the Nazis' hands. So it appears, boys and girls, that the insanity continues. Over the weekend, I received a message on our Facebook page from a listener who you can follow over on Twitter at 80s Playground, and I seriously can't thank him enough for not only sending us this treasure map, this key to One-Eyed Willie's rich stuff, but for even listening at all. You have no idea how much we appreciate it. I'll provide the link to the information, everything I'm about to read on our Facebook page and on our Twitter account. Just head over to social media and type in Video Rangers Podcast and we'll pop up, and give us a follow if you don't already. Once again, this information was sent to us by at 80s Playground over on Twitter. So without further ado, boys and girls, here it is. The complete list of all the deleted scenes that could have made Meatballs Part 2 the best sex comedy of all time. So this link actually goes to the IMDb page. It's like an archive, I guess. It was just something that I couldn't see from the normal trivia page. And there's like two different accounts here. I'll read both of them. One says that there are several deleted scenes totaling 7 minutes and 25 seconds. The scenes comprise of 4 explicitly deleted scenes between Jamie, Archie Han, and Fanny, Misty Rowe. Those are the two actors that played Jamie and Fanny. One's a shower scene featuring Fanny completely nude, and producers removed the scenes to lower the official rating. So that's the one account. And then this one's a lot more detailed. This is the one that I normally talk about. And I mean, I guess the two kind of contradict each other in terms of what was shot, but I guess you can look at it two ways. Because this one article does talk about this being marketed as a sex comedy overseas, where it might have been a little bit heavier on the content. So maybe that 7 minutes is what was deleted from the American cut, and there's a European cut. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows if any of this is real, but this is what I was talking about, just so nobody thinks I was fucking making it up, man. All right, so here we go. Over 24 sex scenes were shot but never used. Producers wanted to sell the film overseas as a sex comedy and shot over 80 minutes of nudity and sex scenes to make it marketable. Several legal issues came up that prevented the producers from using these scenes. Richard Mulligan, Misty Rowe, and Archie Han threatened lawsuits if the film was sold as a sex film internationally. Producers attempted to use some of the scenes in the American release. Eventually, the scenes were cut to lower the MPAA rating from R to PG. The scenes include a sex scene with Jamie and Fanny in Jamie's cabin. That was 1 minute and 13 seconds. In this scene, Fanny is dressed as a cheerleader and performs a striptease for Jamie. Then, as they have sex, Fanny performs a cheer. They are interrupted when a camper clumsily opens the door to the cabin. A sex scene with Jamie and Fanny in Fanny's cabin is 2 minutes. All right, so another sex scene with Jamie and Fanny in Fanny's cabin is 2 minutes. In this scene, Fanny is on top of Jamie while wearing a cowboy hat. They are interrupted when Paul Rubens, Albert, bursts into the cabin and makes a wisecrack. A sex scene with Jamie and Fanny in the woods, that's 45 seconds. They are interrupted when Richard Mulligan, Giddy, or Rafferty if you're watching Heavenly Kid, spots them. Another sex scene with Fanny and Jamie in Fanny's cabin is That's 7 minutes. Holy shit. In this scene, Jamie and Fanny have sex while two campers secretly tape them. A shower scene. Holy shit. A shower scene featuring Fanny completely naked. That's 27 seconds. In this scene, Fanny is showering and Jamie is watching through a peephole. As Jamie watches, Fanny masturbates with the shower head. A short scene when... Oh, fuck, man. Another short scene when Fanny goes into the wrong cabin. That's 2 minutes. In this scene, Fanny tries to surprise Jamie by sneaking into his cabin. She surprises Boomer instead. All right, there's another one of Fanny finding pictures. That's 1 minute. In this scene, Fanny finds topless pictures of herself selling a cam for $1. Oh, that's fucking great, man. There's another one with Fanny and Jamie in the closet. 3 minutes, Jamie and Fanny kissing in a closet. Flash interrupts them. He asks Fanny if she'll sign a topless picture for him. Fuck, dude. All right, the only thing that's hard to buy about this is it kind of contradicts itself. If these people threaten to sue, why would they ever film these scenes? I mean, really, your argument should be just fucking pay me more. I mean, why would you go through the hassle of filming the scenes only to fucking bitch about it later? That's the only thing that is a little fucking weird. All right, the next one is, there's so many of these, man. Fucking Jamie and Fanny make out in the woods. Sergeant Paladine sees them. He salutes Jamie and keeps walking. That's fucking funny. There's a flashback sequence of 3 minutes. Jamie and Fanny make out in the woods. They are photographed by several kids. This scene was deemed too graphic and was cut immediately after it was shot. Fuck. An extended makeout scene of 2 minutes. This is an exhausted version of the makeout scene between Jamie and Fanny. Jamie and Fanny in Fanny's cabin. It's 3 minutes. Jamie and Fanny make out, but are caught when Tula and Sally come in the cabin. Jesus Christ, this is all Fanny and Jamie stuff. I guess theoretically they're the only ones of age, but I mean, everybody in the movie looks old as shit. All right, Boomer catches them making love in another wood scene. This actually kind of makes sense why they keep bitching about, getting caught. All right, so Boomer catches them. That's 3 minutes. Fanny and Jamie are having sex in the woods. In this scene, Colonel Hershey catches Fanny and Jamie making love. That's 4 minutes. All right. Jamie and Fanny having sex in Fanny's cabin. They stop when Tula, Sally, Nancy, and Shella are watching them. That's like 5 minutes. Jamie and Fanny having sex at the lake. In this scene, Meathead sees Jamie and Fanny having sex. Of course he would. I hope he gets involved. They run away from Meathead when he falls out of a tree. Oh, fuck, man. 5 minutes, another 5 minute scene, Jamie and Fanny having sex in Jamie's cabin. In this scene, Jamie and Fanny have sex, but stop when a bear comes in the cabin. See, you gotta have a bear joke in there at some point. Which also would make sense because the bear shows up when Flash and what's her name are fucking skinny dipping. They're looking at the Big Dipper and shit. Okay, Jamie and Fanny having sex in Fanny's cabin. In this scene, Eddie interrupts Jamie and Fanny having sex. Another scene where Jamie and Fanny are having sex in the Chief's tribal office. In this scene, Giddy and Chief interrupt Jamie and Fanny having sex Indian style. That's fucking funny. A sex scene with Jamie and Fanny try to have sex. Jamie finds that all the condoms he has break. A sex scene, at least they're practicing safe sex. All right, another one. In this scene, Jamie and Fanny try to have sex. Jamie is unable to get an erection due to some drugs he is given by Albert. All right, cool. Another one. This is all between Jamie and Fanny. This is fucking crazy. In this scene, Jamie and Fanny have sex on the bus. They are caught by a group of parents. How the Another one is a sex scene when Jamie and Fanny are having sex when Meathead and his family see them. That's fucking great. I wonder what his father said when he saw him. Oh, you better watch out for the Crab's Nebula. All right, here's another one where Jamie and Fanny, in this scene, Jamie and Fanny have sex and are caught by Cheryl. All right, and an end credit sex scene. That's in this scene, Jamie and Fanny finally have sex in Giddy's office. During sex, Fanny accidentally switches on the PA system. Afterwards, Fanny and Jamie exit only to see a crowd applauding them. Dude, that is fucking incredible. This could have been the fucking best sex comedy of all fucking time. What the fuck? If this is legit, I hope to God I can see this footage someday. That would be fucking incredible. Like a special release with all this shit. Man, that'd be fucking great. I'm like so fucking excited. It's fucking amazing. It's a tale of legend, boys and girls. A story almost lost to time like Beowulf. The ink spilled on the webpage had long since dried and nearly turned to dust. Had it not been for the help of heroes far more resourceful than ourselves. I, Mike Ranger, hereby make you 80s Playground, an honorary Ranger. In fact, that's exactly what every one of you listeners to this podcast is. Each and every one of you is a video ranger. So break out your decoder rings, boys and girls. Throw your fist in the sky and show Skeletor who has the power. Stare right into the eye of Thundera. Let the whole planet know that you are more than meets the eye. And somebody, please explain to me what the other half of the fucking battle is. Thank you so much for tuning in, boys and girls. You've been listening to
Captain Video and his Video Rangers.
We've been waiting for the summer all year long, waiting for the summer to sing this song about the swimming and the women and the falling and the sun and in the sun. We've been waiting for the summer to get unstressed from the cramming and examing, gotta take a rest. Waiting patient for the summer and now the waiting's done.
Infirmary Media.